The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is fundamentally tasked with protecting Americans from unfair, deceptive, and abusive financial practices. Ironically, as a result of its massive data collection activities, the CFPB is putting all Americans, all of us, at risk. From January 2012 through July of 2014, the CFPB carried out 12 large-scale data collections, including the monthly collection of data affecting hundreds of millions of credit card accounts, 173 million mortgages, as well as information on 10.7 million consumer credit reports. 5 of these data collections are ongoing. Not a day goes by that Americans are not made aware of yet another breach of their sensitive information. Whether it's in the public or private sector, vast collections of personal consumer data are prime targets for cyber attackers. Aside from the fact that the CFPB does not need to be collecting this vast amount of information to carry out its regulatory mission, it's troubling that it has not taken more appropriate steps to secure this data. In fact, before this committee last year, CFPB Director Cordray said that he cannot rule out the potential for a data breach at the Bureau. We now know, and the American people don't know, how much personally identifiable information, or PII, the CFPB retains, how that data is protected, and what the Bureau plans to do with all of that data. And while the CFPB claims that it collects very little data that contains PII, collecting non-PII data may also endanger consumers. A recent study published by MIT-led team of researchers found that knowing just four pieces of information about a person's credit card transactions was enough to re-identify the anonymous credit card data in 90% of the cases that they studied. Dodd-Frank granted the CFPB expansive and intrusive authority with very little accountability or oversight. However, CFPB's data collection programs appear to exceed the mandates included in Dodd-Frank. Under the guise of its supervisory, monitoring, and examination authorities, the CFPB appears to have subordinated consumers' interests with its data collection programs. What is more concerning, while the CFPB claims to be an information-driven agency, it seems to cherry-pick data to justify pursuing a politicized rule-making agenda. From publishing unverified consumer complaints on its website to using unreliable methodologies for estimating race in auto lending ECOA actions, the agency has proven time and time again that it will present only the most convenient of, quote, facts for its purposes. Manipulating data to validate a regulatory outcome is not sound public policy. This is junk science. The CFPB should focus on responding to actual allegations of consumer fraud and discrimination rather than collecting data for the purposes of undertaking costly and abusive phishing expeditions.